Ma'am, you know why I pulled you over? Your left tail light's out.
Actually, it's not. You can see it's lit right now.
It flickered when you stopped. That counts as broken.
I just had it replaced last week. Want the receipt?
License and registration.
Right here. And while you check them, I'll keep recording. For
You
my
don't
own
need to
safety.
record. I'm recording.
Then there shouldn't be a problem.
Stay right here.
I plan to.
They thought she was just another tired black woman on a lonely road. They thought they could scare her, break her, make her beg. Deputy Kyle Brennan slammed her car door open and shouted, "Get out before I drag you out." But what he didn't know was that the quiet, worn-out woman in scrubs, the woman he called girl, the woman he mocked for driving where she didn't belong, was one of the most decorated medical officers in the entire state, with federal eyes already watching her every move through the camera he didn't know he turned on. And what happened next would haunt that Arizona Sheriff's Department forever. Before I continue this wild story, make sure you subscribe for more powerful stories like this. And tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Step out of the car. Deputy Brennan's voice cracked across the desert like a whip. The sun was melting into a red line on the horizon. Heat rose off the empty Arizona highway. Dust circled Janelle Carter's car like she had disturbed the whole desert just by existing. She sat there, hands on the wheel, still in her faded teal scrubs. Her name badge from St. Aurelia Medical Center hung crooked on her chest. You could see she was exhausted, eyes puffy, braids loose, face tight from a 14-hour shift. And still, her voice stayed calm. "Deputy, I didn't do anything wrong. My taillight isn't broken." Brennan leaned in close, thick arms flexing, sweat darkening his uniform. He looked her up and down like she was something stuck to the bottom of his shoe. "You people always think you know the law," he sneered. "You think you're smart? Out here? In my county?" He tapped her window with 2 fingers, hard enough to make her jump. "Get out." Cars weren't supposed to be on this road. People weren't supposed to be on this road. And a young black woman driving alone at dusk? To him that was already a crime. A second patrol car rolled up behind them. Red and blue lights painted the desert. Janelle did not move. Her silence wasn't fear. It was calculation. Janelle Carter, 27. Dark-skinned, slender, strong without showing it. Long braids pulled back into a loose ponytail. Worn shoes. A beat-up silver Toyota with one hubcap missing. To the world she looked ordinary, tired, small, easy to push. Someone you could talk down to without consequences. But deep inside her was a spine made of steel. She had grown up in the south side of Tulsa. She had patched up gunshot victims before she was old enough to drive. She put herself through medical school by joining a federal emergency program that sent her into disaster zones most doctors wouldn't dare step into. She wasn't loud, she wasn't flashy. But when things went bad, entire teams listened to her voice. And one thing she always remembered, her grandmother's words. "Baby, stay calm. Storms look big until they hit something stronger." She was that something stronger. But tonight, none of that mattered to Brennan. He didn't see a doctor. He didn't see a federal responder. He didn't see a woman who saved lives almost every weekend. All he saw was her skin. Brennan finally yanked the door open himself. "I said out." The metal groaned. Janelle stepped out slowly, hands visible, feet steady on the hot asphalt. The second deputy, a younger man named Reed Maddox, approached with his hand hovering over his gun. His face looked uncertain, new guy nerves, but he didn't question a thing. Brennan circled Janelle like a predator. "A nurse, huh?" he mocked, staring at her scrubs. "Or you steal those too?" "Deputy," she said softly, "I'm a licensed physician assistant. If you check my..." "Don't tell me what you are." He got closer, nose almost touching hers. "You think you can stroll through here like it's your city block? This road is watched. This road is private." "It's a public highway," she replied. Brennan smirked. Not a friendly smirk. A smirk that said, "You're not winning this." "On paper," he said. "But out here? I decide what's legal." Maddox shifted closer. "Should we search the car?" he asked. "Of course we search the car," Brennan growled. "Look at her. Look at this mess of a vehicle. She's hiding something." Janelle spoke firmly now. "You do not have probable cause to search my vehicle." Brennan's eyebrows shot up like she slapped him. "Oh, she knows words. She thinks she's educated." He laughed. Loud. "Man, you hear that, Maddox? She's one of those educated ones." Maddox laughed too, but it sounded forced. There were lines on his face that said he knew this wasn't right. But he stayed silent. Like most people do. Cars passed in the distance. No one stopped. No one helped. Janelle stood in the center of the highway, dust on her shoes, wind whipping her braids across her face. She looked like someone surrounded by wolves but not broken. Never broken. Brennan grabbed her arm. Turn around. Hands on the hood. No, Janelle said. He blinked. No, he repeated like the word was foreign. You do not have the right to search me or my car, she repeated. And your camera is recording all of this. Brennan snorted. My camera's off. No, it's not. She said it calmly, but there was something in her voice that made Maddox glance nervously at the patrol SUV. Brennan shoved his face inches from hers. You think I'm scared of you, girl? I think you should be scared of the truth, she answered. His jaw locked. His hand tightened on her arm. And for a moment, it looked like things were about to turn violent. Really violent. But Janelle didn't flinch. Not even when he grabbed her other wrist. Not even when he tried to twist her around. Not even when Maddox hesitated, unsure whether to step in or watch. Her voice stayed steady. You are violating civil law, state law, and federal protocol, she warned. Brennan laughed again. This one loud enough to echo off the sand dunes. Federal? Oh please. If you were federal anything, you wouldn't be driving this garbage can. He kicked her car door for emphasis. That's enough. Maddox said quietly, but Brennan waved him off. Shut up, rookie. Watch and learn how to deal with trouble. Trouble. That's what he called her. Not ma'am. Not citizen. Not driver. Just trouble. The desert went quiet for a moment. Wind stilled. Heat pressed down. Even the colors of the sky seemed to pause. Janelle looked straight at Brennan. Not angry. Not scared. Just steady. You do not understand who you are threatening, she said. He smirked again. Someone who's about to spend the night in a cell. She shook her head. No. Someone your department is already under audit for mistreating. Brennan froze. Maddox froze. A beat. Then Brennan barked a laugh, too loud. Oh, you are something else, he said. Audits? You think you matter that much? He grabbed her arm again, and this time his grip was harsh. Mean. Punishing. Hands? A voice crackled through his radio. Unit 42, your body cam is streaming to the live review channel. Please confirm this is intentional. Brennan went pale. How? The cam is off. Maddox looked at his partner with wide eyes. Sir, you didn't switch it off right. Janelle didn't move. Didn't smile. Didn't celebrate. She simply said, I told you. The tension hung there. Thick. Heavy. Ready to snap. And that was the moment Brennan's power began to crumble. The night air changed. Something invisible shifted across that Arizona road. Like the desert itself stopped breathing. Deputy Brennan's face twitched. He pressed a shaky finger to the body cam clipped to his vest. The little red light blinked. Recording. Streaming. What? And not just inside the sheriff's office. Not just to some dusty backroom monitor. It was streaming to a federal compliance channel. A channel used only when someone with high-level clearance was on a watch list, protected list, or special operations list. A channel Brennan didn't even know existed. Maddox swallowed hard. Sir? We should maybe pause. Brennan snapped. No. She's bluffing. She's trying to scare us. He stepped toward her again. You think you're special? You're nothing out here. Janelle spoke softly. I'm not trying to scare you, Deputy Brennan. But you should stop now. You don't know what you've stepped into. He grabbed her arm again. Oh, I know exactly what I've stepped in. A lying. But he didn't finish. Not because he stopped himself. But because another voice, one that didn't belong to him or Maddox, exploded through his radio speaker loud enough to make him flinch. Deputy Brennan, this is federal command. Remove your hands from Miss Carter immediately. The desert swallowed the words like thunder. Maddox jerked back like he'd been struck. Federal command? He whispered. Sir, what's going on? Brennan's eyes went wide. His mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. This is a prank, he choked out. This is some hacker. The radio cut him off. Negative. This is an active federal channel. Stand down. Step away from the subject. This is your final warning. Subject. Not victim. Not civilian. Subject. The way they talk about someone with authority, not someone being detained. Maddox looked at Janelle now, really looked. Her steady breathing. Her calm eyes. Her relaxed hands. This wasn't a scared woman. This was someone used to chaos. Someone used to being protected. Someone important. Janelle finally looked away from Brennan and spoke into the cam. This is Janelle Maurice Carter confirming identity. Badge number FC71 Delta. Status, active reserve. Location, Arizona Highway 85, marker 224. Maddox nearly dropped his flashlight. FC. Federal Crisis Corps, he gasped. The FCC wasn't a myth. It was the team they sent to war zones, terror sites, collapsed hospitals, hurricane aftermaths. The team that saved lives before military backup even arrived. They weren't doctors. They weren't soldiers. They were both. And only the best of the best ever got recruited. Brennan's face drained of all color. You're one of them? Janelle didn't gloat. Didn't brag. Didn't smirk. She simply stood there in her dusty scrubs, the same worn scrubs he mocked, and nodded once. Suddenly the quiet desert filled with sound. Engines. Full. Heavy. Powerful. A black SUV rolled out from the darkness behind the patrol cars. Then another. Then a third. No sirens. No lights. Just presence. The kind that said, something very important is happening here. The SUV doors swung open, and 3 agents stepped out wearing plain tactical gear with small FCC patches. The lead agent, Commander Rhea Lockland, a tall native woman with graying braids and eyes sharp as flint, walked straight toward Janelle. Officer Carter, she said, voice firm yet warm. Are you hurt? Janelle shook her head. Not physically. Commander Lockland turned to Brennan. There was no anger in her eyes. Just disappointment. And that was worse. Deputy Brennan, she said, you have interfered with a federal responder. You attempted an unlawful detainment. You attempted an unlawful search. You initiated force without cause. Brennan opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Commander Lockland continued. And you did all of this while your live channel reported your behavior to every oversight board we answer to. Maddox looked like he might throw up. Lockland took a step closer to Brennan. You were told to stand down. You didn't. I didn't know who she was. Brennan stammered. That is the problem, Lockland said. You treat respect as something people must earn based on your bias. But respect is a baseline requirement for your badge. She motioned to another agent. Remove his weapon. Brennan stumbled backward. No, wait, hold on, I've served 15 years. I have rights. Janelle finally spoke. Did you care about my rights? Her voice was not angry. Just tired. What? And honest. Brennan stopped struggling. Because there was nothing left to say. The agent relieved him of his gun. Another took his badge. Another confiscated his body cam. For a moment, Brennan looked like a child who'd been caught stealing. Broken. Small. Scared. Unexpectedly, Deputy Maddox stepped in front of Janelle. Ma'am? I'm sorry, he stuttered. I knew it wasn't right. I should have said something. I froze. I was scared of him. Janelle looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Fear is human, she said. Silence is a choice. Maddox's eyes filled with shame. He lowered his head. And strangely, Janelle didn't look angry at him. Just sad. Commander Lockland placed a supportive hand on Janelle's shoulder. You shouldn't have had to go through this after a 14-hour shift, she said. We've been tracking harassment reports against this department. You activated the audit channel by accident when you adjusted your ID clip. Janelle sighed softly. I just wanted to get home. We know, Lockland said gently. And we're here now. Brennan was escorted to one SUV. Maddox was guided to another. He wasn't under arrest, but he was being taken for questioning. The desert felt different now. Safer. Warmer. Quieter. The night sky stretched above them like a massive blanket full of stars. Before she left, Commander Lockland looked at Janelle and asked, Do you want to make a formal complaint? Janelle stared at the ground for a long time. Wind brushed her braids against her face. Finally, she whispered, No. Just make sure he never does this to someone without a voice. Commander Lockland nodded. We will. Janelle turned toward her car. She paused, looked back once, and said the line that would echo in that desert for years. Power is loud. Dignity is quiet. But quiet doesn't mean weak. Then she got into her old Toyota, closed the door softly, and drove toward the long, peaceful dark. Leaving behind a broken badge, a ruined reputation, and a lesson the desert winds would never forget. If you felt this story, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Janelle's shoes?